We good.
Treasure the legends, those who paved our way. In every single chapter, we're here to stay. Breaking down plays, had a vision so clear with every podcast session. We're spreading that cheer from street courts to arenas. We'll raise our voice, telling the life lessons, giving fans a choice. It's more than just a game, it's the culture we embrace. Every laugh and every tear, finding our place. So we bring the heat, lay it down every week. Interview the greats, sharing insights unique to African American voices. Bonded through the strife in this podcast journey. We're living that life from the struggles and triumphs. Let the world hear, chasing the highlights. We're shifting the gears. The highlights, where dreams come alive. Two ex-players in the studio, ready to thrive. Friends and fans, united with the truth, sharing the passion. Yeah, that's our proof. So hit that subscribe, never miss a beat. Join the conversation, feel the soul street with laughs and insights. We'll carry the light, chasing the highlights. We'll shine through the night. This ain't just a podcast, it's a vibe, it's a fight. Two friends, one dream, lift the spirit so bright.
Hello, everybody. How you doing? Good evening, and welcome to our podcast, Lonnie and Tony. I'm Lonnie Washington, along with Tony Robinson. He's in Texas. I'm in Arizona, and welcome to our show. Tonight, we're going to be talking about what happened in Week 5, and then we're going to preview Week 6. We're going to first start off with the Cleveland Browns. There's a lot going on with Cleveland. But let's first start out with the game in London. I know Tony is excited to get to that, right? I mean, Dylan Gabriel is the guy that they wanted to see. Joe Flacco, who is no longer with them. We'll talk about that in a second. And Tony is kind of like, hey, we want to get rid of Flacco. We want to put Dylan Gabriel in. First of all, the Vikings secured a close victory against the Cleveland Browns in London. Carson Wentz, that's right, guys. I said Carson Wentz led a crucial fourth quarter comeback drive capped by a touchdown pass to Jordan Addison with 30 seconds left to win the game. And my biggest thing is that I'm not quite sure what happened to Cleveland's defense. You let a guy like Carson Wentz come in to beat you. I mean, this guy has been irrelevant now for a couple of years. Even when he was with the Washington Commanders, I thought he was washed up. Wentz goes to, I don't know where he went to, but he went somewhere. I think he went to the Chiefs, and then now he went to the quarterback whisper, right? Kevin O'Connell, we've got to give him a lot of credit because, Daniel Jones and everybody that he's been, he's rejuvenated their career. Now Carson Wentz. I thought, Tony, in this game that jet lag of going to London wore down the defense in the fourth quarter. I mean, literally, I didn't even know what defense I was watching. And then that, they had a good opportunity to actually get back in the race in the AFC North. And I was actually pulling for them. This game was so bad in the fourth quarter for Cleveland. I was watching this game in bed, and I think I told you, Tony, I actually fell out the bed. It was that bad. So, buddy, I don't know. I'm going to give you your time here, but what's going on with Cleveland in this football game in London?
Oh, man. Yeah. I'm still kind of like surprised and like you can be up, 17-14 with 5 minutes to go in the game. And then, you use all those timeouts in a bad way from the coaching. I don't know what was going on there. But you talk about Wentz, and I feel like, Wentz was, getting some toolage behind Mahomes and like, that Chiefs offense and stuff like that. He, got good coaching there. He probably learned how to, played there. That's why he was sitting behind, champions over there. Then he goes to
Yeah.
Minnesota, had the quarterback whisperer and everything like that. But then you got all those targets, all those guys you have to throw the ball to there too. It's not just Wentz doing what
Yeah.
he did. He has a lot more players at his fingertips to throw. You can throw any pass to them and they're gonna go up and get it and make big plays. All you gotta do is give him a chance. And he's a veteran quarterback, and that's what he does. I mean, he's gonna do that. But he also does. He also runs the ball and gets hurt. Too. Because
Yeah, he
that's
was
what he did.
scrambling around, and he did get busted up scrambling
Yeah.
around, but he stuck it out and came back in the game.
So, I thought he was going to be out and then we had a chance, but, he came back in and toughed it out and, they did what they did. But I just feel like, just being, a true Browns fan for 45 years, it's just like the same old with the Browns. I say this all the time, and it's like we find a way to lose. Even though we played pretty good. Dylan Gabriel came in, did his thing. I feel like Dylan Gabriel, they had like a vanilla offense in. It wasn't like they were dinking and dunking still, but they still did enough to be in a position to win. That's the key that I want to take away. The positive I want to take away from it. It's not that we lost again and it was tough. But I feel like DG came in and managed the game properly, but he couldn't hit those long 15 yards plus accurately. And I feel like, Flacco getting traded opened the door for Shedeur to come in potentially here in the next couple games, depending on what Dylan Gabriel does in his next game. We'll see the trade. The trade came through with Flacco going out. So it's like, so we'll see how that goes in the next couple games, because I feel like this trade is making it so Shedeur has a chance to get more reps, with the twos or whatever, and potentially the ones, to see what he can do, because they want to see what both of these guys have. But this next game coming up is going to be a telling sign to see like if they're actually going to be able to move on from Dylan Gabriel to Shedeur. So that's what I think, and I have some kids coming in, kind of throwing me off a little bit.
Yeah, they want to see what pops up here talking about the Flacco trade. Now, this came in this afternoon on the East Coast and everything, and I'm trying to figure out now. Flacco's gone. Do you believe that Flacco actually, asked for this trade, or is this something that the Bengals said, hey, we're just that bad, and we're looking for some help here, because you trade him in Division 2, so now Flacco's got these weapons, right? He's got these weapons in division, and you trade him to a division team. You both are fighting for the division, but you give them Flacco, which he could go over there and burn you guys too. So do you think Flacco wanted the trade? I mean, they get a 5th round and a 6th round pick for next season. I think that's what Cleveland gave up for Flacco. So, it's tough when you trade a guy in Division 2. I mean, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I'm surprised we traded. We haven't traded with Cincinnati in a long time. We're surprised with that. Everybody for the Browns are surprised. Even the guys at ESPN Cleveland, they're like, "Oh, we traded with Cincinnati Bengals. Like, what's going on here?" This is not something we usually do in division or whatever. So, but I feel like Flacco could have. He could have said, like, I don't want to sit here knowing that this might be his last year. He don't want to just sit there and rot and even though he was rotting while he was playing too, the way he was playing. But just to be real, but I feel like it's he wanted to go somewhere else, and staying in a division is like a big, what to Cleveland. I mean, we didn't have to trade him there, but I think they wanted to do they didn't want to do him a disservice, because we thank him for his time, because we all in Cleveland, we love Flacco. I mean, what he did in 2023, but he was a shell of himself, in this kind of scheme or offense that we were running this time. It's kind of vanilla offense. I don't know if it was the same kind of offense with him, but I feel like we had to move on, because we got to see what we have in those two rookies, Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders. So, but we also, nobody's talking about this. we talked about this a little bit earlier. You got Deshaun
Yeah.
Watson, with these videos, like he's ready to come back, and he's like, putting all this stuff out, like mental stuff, like, he's gonna come back stronger, better than ever, and all this stuff. So I don't know. What you think
Yeah,
about?
I mean, I hope to never see Deshaun Watson in a Cleveland Brown uniform again. I mean, you got to let these young guys, see what you got in these young guys, and you still have a extra number one pick next season if you're Cleveland Browns. So, hopefully he never sees the field again. But the crazy thing is that Shedeur Sanders is only one play away from being in there. We never want these quarterbacks to get hurt, but we do know that there's been a number of quarterback injuries this year. And if Dylan Gabriel can't get it done over the next couple of games, I will think that, late October, November, that you will see Shedeur Sanders get the start. And that's probably what everybody wanted to see. It's probably what his father was talking about, a couple of weeks ago when he said that Shedeur Sanders will play this year for the Cleveland Browns. But, interesting, sometimes, and we didn't really want to talk that much about Cleveland, but somehow week after week they somehow stay in the media as top coverage, and we're going to cover it if it's there. But yeah, we have to move on now. But it's going to be interesting to see how overall that everything shapes up with that particular situation in Cleveland. Hey, good luck to you guys. That division is still up for grabs. I was hoping you guys are going to win to get at least a game on the Ravens. So we'll see how that works out. Next, I want to kind of move into a game that I kind of saw coming, where you had the New England Patriots going into Buffalo and beating the Buffalo Bills. In a surprising outcome, the Patriots defeated the previously undefeated Buffalo Bills. Drake May and Stephon Diggs instrumental in the Patriots' victory, highlighted by a game-winning 52-yard field goal. And they go in there and beat. I kind of said this last week that it was upset alert for the Buffalo Bills. I mean, their defense hasn't been that good, and Vrabel plays a special type of defense, and he's tough. He's got these guys battle ready. And Drake May, he's that might have been his coming out party. Winning games on prime time against good teams will get, people looking at you a little bit more. And Drake May, I mean, he has a spectacular game, making plays with his legs, just throwing the ball to Stephon Diggs. I mean, that was kind of his revenge game. He had a crazy pep talk with his team, going back to Buffalo before the game. And this was it, man. I mean, Buffalo, they've got to clean up some stuff. Finally, this week, it really caught up to them with just the way their defense has been playing. But, glad to see the New England Patriots coming to the party.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, Stephon Diggs, that was his, the big, what. I don't want to say any cursing on here, but what. He was like, I'm coming back. Y'all traded me. Y'all got rid of me. I'm coming back to do my thing. Because you saw it in the pregame interview that he had. He's pretty much putting everybody on notice that he's coming to play. So, and from
coming off an ACL tear, I mean, he looks phenomenal coming off the ACL tear. I mean, he got back pretty quick. And he did some damage. So, hey, I got a lot of New England Patriots friends and family. Hey, shout out to you guys. That was a big win. Hey, that was awesome. Also, the Denver Broncos get a big win. They clipped the wings. I mean, not a big clip. They did clip the wings of the Philadelphia Eagles. And we kind of saw this coming a little bit. The Eagles kind of been getting by with their defense and special teams. The Denver Broncos go in to win 21-17 in Philadelphia. The Broncos mounted a remarkable comeback, outscoring the Eagles 18-0 in the fourth quarter to secure the win. And in Philadelphia Eagles' 12-game winning streak. And I don't know what to say about this game. This game was such a good game to see the Broncos defense come up big, and then all of a sudden they start cooking, right? They started cooking on offense, and you know what? 6 carries for Saquon Barkley. My boy Bill with the Commanders, I'm going to put up a comparison with Barkley. Not that he's on the level of Barkley, but this will go to show just what Barkley has done this year compared to my boy Bill Cross-Key-Merritt for the Commanders, playing half, or basically playing half the time that Barkley's in the game. Look at that stat. Okay. Saquon Barkley has 83 carries, 267 yards, and 4 touchdowns. He's averaging 3.2 yards a carry. And Krosky Merritt for the Commanders, only 43 carries, 283 yards, 4 touchdowns, averaging 6.6 yards a carry. And this is amazing stat when I saw this, and I had to put this up because, you have a young player in Krosky Merritt, but you have a Saquon Barkley. They're not using Saquon Barkley, and they're not using their weapons and the balanced offense like they should. And this has been a problem for Philadelphia pretty much, the last 4 games, and finally playing a good defense and a really good offense finally caught back up to them in this particular game.
Yeah, I feel like your best player, they got 2,000 yards the previous year. There's no way in a game like this that he only gets 9 touches. Got 6 rushes,
Wow.
6 rushes and 3 catches. I don't know how many targets he got, but there's no way
outrageous
that you like. Is this Super Bowl hangover? Like, it's still like I feel like it's a Super Bowl hangover, or because the offensive line. It seemed like the offensive line isn't doing something right, but they got to figure this out because they're not even getting the ball to AJ Brown. I mean, you can say he's, people say he's crying, but it's like. If the run game ain't going right, you have to get the passing game going. Somebody got to get something going. Like you can't not run the ball properly and not run, pass. I mean, they Hurts had 2 touchdown passes or whatever and did what he did.
Mm-hmm.
Got the ball to Devontae Smith, but like we talked about earlier, is there something going on with AJ Brown and Jalen Hurts? I mean, we don't know. It's kind of like what's going on here?
That was kind of like personal.
2 years in a row, he's complaining about getting the ball. And it's like, you can say, oh, he's a prima donna, but it's like receivers want to help. They want to help their team win, especially when they lose is bad, but when they're winning, I don't think you should be complaining as much, but because you're doing all you can to help the team win. Right. But when you're losing, it hurts even more when you don't get the ball.
Yeah.
That's the key part to me that I feel like why he's getting so pissed off, because he's like, in the games they lose, he's like, I'm barely getting any touches. I mean, he got 5 catches for 43 yards, but are those like late game or like, I don't know, just
43 yards for this guy? 5 catches.
He's only averaging 8. He's only averaging 8 yards a catch, and Devontae Smith is at 14 yards per catch in that game. So it's like, I don't know, like it's something going on, crazy. And there's no reason why Saquon Barkley should be less. Like he should have way more. Like that graph you showed side by side, and Bill is not even playing as much. They got like a 3-headed monster there, or 2-head, whatever you want to call it, and he's playing less. So there's no reason why he should have less. Saquon.
Yeah, and well, they got to fix it quick. They got the New York Giants coming up this week, Thursday night, NFC matchup. And New York is a little pissed off because they dropped the ball against the Saints this week. You thought Jackson, you thought Jackson Dart, was the guy, right? After coming up with a big upset win against the Chargers, and then the Giants just got their heads beaten in that game after having an early lead. They gave up, a lot of points, and then they got beat. So we'll see. They both play both play on Thursday night in a couple of days. We'll see who wins that NFC matchup. But I gotta take a quick second. Even though this is kind of like not really relevant, the Tennessee Titans comes into Arizona with a rookie quarterback, 0-4, and beat Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals 22-21. The Titans overcame a 21-6 fourth quarter deficit to defeat the Arizona Cardinals, ending a 10-game losing streak. The Cardinals' loss was marked by several critical errors, including Emari Demercado's premature celebration that led to a touchback instead of a touchdown. I mean, these guys here are getting paid good money to score touchdowns. All right, and you got a guy. Now, this happened a couple of times already. It's already happened once this year, right? He runs into the end zone and drops the ball before he gets across and before the ball touches the plane, and he basically calls the Cardinals the game. But also on the sideline, Gannon, the coach Gannon, he kind of subs DeMarcado a little bit too, and then walks away. And then he had to apologize publicly yesterday about doing that. Now I know the young fella. Well, he's been in the league for 3 years. DeMarcado, he made a mistake and he was feeling bad about it, and the team kind of rallied around him. But let's talk a little bit about the coach actually, touching a player. And I know in the heat of the moment. I mean, when I was growing up and I played, high school and Pop Warner, the coach would grab our face masks and sling us around and do this kind of stuff. But this is 2025 and these are grown men. And of course, DeMarcado could have handed Gannon, his what if he wanted to. But this kind of take me what you think about the whole situation that's going on in Arizona with the loss and also this incident.
Well, I mean, I don't want to say anything bad about like the personalities and like the way these guys are nowadays, but I think they're a little softer these days. Like back in the day, we had to be like, we had that stuff done. It was nothing. It was, we didn't think nothing of it because that's just how we were coached, right? But now, like, you got all these cameras around, you got social media, all this stuff. It's more eyes on this stuff right now with the social media.
Yeah.
Back when we played, we didn't have all the social media and all this stuff, so they can do whatever they wanted. Like Bobby Knight in basketball, they had cameras on him, but he was like throwing chairs across, headbutting people and stuff like that. But now it's like you can't do this stuff because it's so many cameras and so many different takes on it. It's multi-millions of takes on what you just did, and you made as the coach, you made the team look bad. And I'm surprised that he didn't get fined or like they're not calling for his job right now because
they had a big
meltdown. I mean, I never want to call for a coach's job or any player's job, but in this situation, like you can't do that to a player. If a player can't hit you, you shouldn't be hitting a player. Because I know some players, we want to like do some stuff to the coach because the way they talk to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why he felt that he can. I mean, I don't know if he was trying to like, give him a pep talk and just like tap him like, let's go.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't much really. I mean, it wasn't much really, but he still made contact with him. I don't want to really make too much about it, but it was a big deal. That everybody kind of made it a big deal.
The angle when you look from behind, it looked like he like punched him, and it was like, what's going on? Like the guy that was holding.
I didn't see that angle. I just kind of saw the side angle. The angle we'll move on from it, but we'll move on from this. But a big win for the Tennessee Titans, and boy, things are getting hot. Yeah, it's already hot in Arizona. It was 95 degrees today, so it's getting even hotter in that Arizona locker room in that camp over there because people are, third year coach. He's under a lot of pressure. I can see what he did. Why he did it, but not necessarily it wasn't right. So we'll move on from it. Hey, Tampa Bay keeps rolling, right? 38-35 win in Seattle. The Buccaneers won the high scoring contest against the Seattle Seahawks with Baker Mayfield and Emeka Ogbuka, connecting for a touchdown and Levante Davis interception, setting up a walk-off field goal. Sam Darnold had a chance to win this game, and he throws a pick at the end of the game that sets off an opportunity for a field goal for Tampa to win. But that was a huge win for Baker Mayfield to go again into a hostile environment with a good Seattle defense to beat them in Seattle. And now people are really talking about can Baker Mayfield be in the MVP discussion? And I'm like, I'm not quite sure, but I will show you this for a minute. I saw this and I'm like, wait a minute, time out. Okay, so if we're looking at the FanDuel MVP ladder, right? You got Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and then you got the former Cleveland Browns quarterback Baker Mayfield at number 3 so far. And you know what? People were talking about Dak Prescott. He's all the way down here at number 8, and Justin Herbert. You need to take him off this list because he ain't that guy, right? But Dak, I think, should be up here a little bit higher with Jordan Love. right? So, you got that big win. So I know that, you've been kind of watching Baker Mayfield and saying to yourself, like, dang, I wish Cleveland had this guy the way he's constructed now. What are you thinking now about what he's doing? We keep talking about him, but man, he's deserving every, all the airtime that we can give him.
Man, Baker, he's like like I said before, I talked bad about Baker when he was in Cleveland, but he was still,
You talked about him like a dog, man.
He was just a young, guy in a system where quarterbacks go to die. I mean, that's what I have to come up. That's what I have to boil it down to. He didn't have the right coaching there. We never have the right coaching for quarterbacks. We don't develop quarterbacks, and we kind of tend to like shoo them away if they don't produce like we think they should be. We always think the grass is always greener on the other side. So there's a lot of that. And that's why we keep cycling through quarterbacks and stuff like that and coaches. But Baker, now, it took him to go to, a couple of different teams to like find his way and find his footing to get to a team that was established. A couple years prior, they were Super Bowl champs. When Brady was there, they still had some of the pieces around that were integral to those championships with the receiving core and stuff like that. But Baker came into a situation where he has so many guys to pass to. He has a great coaching staff. They always have a solid defense. Not very great defense, but they always do enough to win games and stuff like that. So, but Baker, the MVP, he's an MVP like 1A, 1B to me with Josh Allen. Just my opinion, because of how he's going into these teams on the road. Seattle was a hard place to play. I went to a Browns game when they played Seattle a few years ago, and it is so loud in there. They're the 12th man for the NFL for a reason. They had 12th man in Texas A&M, but the 12th man in NFL is a real deal. When you go into that stadium, it's so loud, you can barely hear anything. So I don't see how he played through all that and to put up 30-something points. They came in ready, had a game plan in place. Everybody was on their P's and Q's on the road. Like that's, and it's once again with Baker Mayfield, he keeps doing it. And this is what I missed from. Which if he was in Cleveland, we would be definitely probably undefeated right now. I feel with the way our defense has been playing, with the pieces we have on our team. But if he was on our team, I don't think we'd have the players that we had. So just think about that too. I don't think we'd have the players, but Baker, he's doing really well, and I wish he was back with us, but it's not possible. He's not going to ever come back.
Well, hats off
the way
to
we
Baker
treated him,
and
the way we treat him, there's no way he will come back. So
no, and you know what? I'm glad to see him go, and he's having a great career. Hats off to him, right? So moving on, Jacksonville Jaguars 31-28 in Monday Night Football last night. Jaguars earned a significant upset victory over the Chiefs on Monday night. Trevor Lawrence had a strong performance, scoring 2 touchdowns, including the game winner with 23 seconds left. The Jaguars defense also contributed with a 99-yard interception return for a touchdown by Devin Lloyd. This win snapped the Jaguars' losing streak against the Chiefs and positioned them as a potential AFC contender. I'm watching this game last night, and I'm saying, oh, man, the Chiefs are going to pull this thing off. And then all of a sudden, Patrick Mahomes make, a rare mistake and throws the ball for a 99-yard, interception return for a touchdown. And, I'm not ready to say that the Jaguars are legit contenders in the AFC just yet. But you know what? Hey, you are what your records say you are, right? So, they're 4-1. And you know what? They're on their way. Kudos to them for winning. Finally, after 3 seasons, we're starting to see Trevor Lawrence, actually do something, right? So, we can leave that there unless you got something to say about that one.
Well, Trevor Lawrence showed up. I mean, he had 2 rushing touchdowns, and that's what he was the key factor to the game. I mean, he's the only one that really scored. He threw a touchdown pass to Parker Washington, but that was it. I mean, it was mostly him doing what he does. So
yeah. Yeah, these quarterbacks seem like they're taking it, taking the page out of Jaden Daniels' book, leading the team in rushing, right? So, I mean, he led the team in rushing last night, and then Patrick Mahomes led his team in rushing. This is kind of crazy to see these quarterbacks evolving their game and running more. These athletic quarterbacks, and Jaden Daniel has done it, but that's why you end up a little busted up too.
Yeah, but that's why I was saying you can't, like with Flacco on the Browns, that's why you cannot be a pocket passer anymore, because these guys are too fast and they're getting in the backfield 1 or 2 seconds. Like, you got to be able to be mobile and extend plays, get out of that pocket, because if you sit in that pocket, they know if you're a stagnant, stationary quarterback, it's easy to find you. You're not going anywhere. So you got to be able to move. So that's my 2 cents.
So we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll after that we'll wrap up, week 5, and then we'll head to week 6. So we'll be right back after this break. Hi everybody, Lonnie Washington here, licensed field underwriter and life insurance agent. Story time, true story. A little while ago, somebody reached out to me to get life insurance. The gentleman was probably in his 60s, and he was looking to get $50,000 worth of coverage, and he was in fairly good health, only taking blood pressure medications, and probably would have qualified for coverage fairly easily. Well, after a couple of conversations, he was still on the fence about getting life insurance. Well, a few months had went by, and I get this phone call, and he says, "Hey, is this Lonnie?" And I says, "Yes." And he's like, "Well, this is so-and-so's son. I'm at his house right now." And by his phone, he has your name and phone number with $50,000 worth of life insurance. And I says, "Okay." And he's like, "Well, he passed away a couple of days ago, and I'm at his house trying to pick up the pieces and figure out how I'm going to pay for his funeral." And I says, "I'm so sorry for your loss." I says, "But he never got the life insurance coverage from me." And he says, "Well, that figures." He says, "Now I'm here trying to, figure out how to bury him and also take care of the things at his house." So it just goes to show you that when someone passes away, your loved ones will be looking for a life insurance policy. Don't wait until it's too late. Contact me today so we can talk about how to put something in place for you and your family for life insurance so you can leave a legacy for your family. All right, we are back. This is Lonnie Washington and Tony Robinson. We're talking NFL Week 6, and this is our weekly podcast here on Tuesday night. And so thank you guys for popping in. Whether you'll see this on any of the different platforms, but tonight we're live on Facebook. So finishing up on week number 5, my Washington Commanders, they get a big win, traveling across the country to SoFi Stadium against the Los Angeles Chargers. We win 27-10. The Commanders overcame an early deficit by scoring 27 unanswered points against the Chargers. Jaden Daniels threw for 231 yards and a touchdown, and Ja'Cory Cross-Kameret added 2 rushing touchdowns. Bill, that's his name, in case you didn't know. I showed this stat earlier with Saquon Barkley. But, this was a really good football game. We went down 10-zip early, and everybody was like, uh-oh. But I tell people, this is the difference between having a backup quarterback and your number one guy there. Jaden Daniels, you never feel like you're out of a game when this guy plays. Literally, every game last season, he brought us back in 5 games. And then when we were down, he always brought us back. And everybody's talking about sophomore slump. But, he missed 2 games with the knee injury. He had the brace on that if you watch that game, he was wearing a brace. But he was still rushing the football. He was still out there, playing, throwing deep balls. Deebo Samuel is amazing. And, we're doing all this, without our ace, Terry McLaurin and, McCaffrey. Yeah, caught a 50-yard bomb. Welcome to the dance, buddy. Finally. You're coming in, you're stepping up to the plate. All that hard work that you did with Bijan Robinson and your brother is finally paying off. So I really appreciate that you're coming to the party, you're stepping up, you're putting the work in, and to see you catch that 50-yard pass and you're doing all kinds of other stuff on special teams for us, it really gave us a big boost. And so, you know what? I'm excited. I'm excited that that we won that game and that we got back in the win column. Our ace back, Jaden Daniels, got your jersey. You know what? Good job, Washington Commanders. You represented on the West Coast. And he went back home, had a lot of fans. That's where he's from. out that way, and he represented. So that was a great game, big win for us on the road.
Yeah, it's a good game,
Let's
man.
see
I
here.
wish I can celebrate like that. I mean, I can't
Yeah,
celebrate
I
with
know. I
mine.
know you was like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like I have Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt Bill on my. I had him on my bench. I had him on my fantasy bench. I had Henderson in, and I had Cook from Buffalo, and they didn't give them the ball for nothing. And you think that in those games you would get the ball, but Krosky Merritt had like 27 fantasy points in that game, and I was like, oh, I was sitting on the bench. I was like, I needed those points to win.
Yeah.
But yeah, I picked him up because you told me to get him at the beginning of the season, so you already knew he was going to be a good player.
And I
so
tell you,
yeah,
keep playing him because he's, I think he's going to be the bell cow now, and he's going to probably get 15 to 18 touches a game, whether it's in the passing game or the running game. He's got to hold on to the football. He's got to keep improving in pass pro, right? Pass protection, because if you can't pass protect, they're not going to play you. But he showed some improvement. Good big win for them. I'm excited about it. I got to talk about this last game here. San Francisco 49ers on Thursday night. They go into to LA again at SoFi, right? Went 26-23, despite numerous injuries, including the starting quarterback, tight end, and top wide receivers. The 49ers defeated the Rams in overtime. Mac Jones stepped in at quarterback and threw for 342 yards in the win and upset. And I say this is an upset because it's hard to beat the Rams there. With all the weapons that the Rams have, they go in there and they spank. All right. They put a spanking on the Los Angeles Rams, and hats off to Mac Jones. I mean, he probably made this up another $40 million moving forward after this season, because somebody's going to take him, or he's going to get traded, and somebody's going to pay him big money.
Mac Jones, who? Mac Jones. Yeah, he balled out. But the reason why him and Kendrick Bourne had that connection, when Kendrick Bourne came, if you go back to his press conference when he came over back to San Francisco, he was talking about the Mac Jones connection because they played it in the Patriots together.
Yep.
And I believe in Jacksonville too, but they have a connection. So when he came back and the stars aligned where, those guys were hurt and he had a chance to show out. He had 10 catches for 142 yards. So yeah, Kendrick Bourne has an opportunity to carve out some more playing time if once those other guys come back. But I feel like Purdy needs to get his stuff together, or they may move on to Mac Jones because he's hot right now.
Yeah, I was kind of mad because Kendrick Bourne he came to visit Washington like 3 weeks ago, and because we had some injuries, and we wanted to sign him, but he wanted to look at wait a week or so, find out where his best opportunity to play was. He didn't really realize that Terry was going to get hurt and stuff like that. But I don't know why we let this guy out the building, because boy, he looked like he was energized and stuff. And of course, that connection with Mac Jones, like you just said, is probably one of the reasons why he wanted to go to San Fran. But hey, your money goes a little further in the Virginia area than paying all those taxes and living in the Bay Area. So this, I don't know what he was thinking, but you know what? He made the best of it. 142 yards receiving on 10 catches.
He probably saw that McCaffrey was there. He's like, I don't got a chance with McCaffrey there. He knew McCaffrey was doing his thing.
No, man, come on. It's crazy. It's crazy. So, we're going to move on now to week 6. And boy, week 6 is going to be an interesting week. A lot of things going on in week 6. I don't know, man. I think that, us playing in this game and I'll start off with the Chicago Bears. The Washington Commanders play the Chicago Bears in week 6, and it's going to be an interesting game because, the Chicago Bears is coming off a lot of time off. They had a bye week, and then they get an extra day because of the Monday night. But I just want to remind all my Chicago Bears fans, I got to remind all of you that, this is the game that JD5 he became a legend last year in this particular game because of what he did. And boom, I got to show y'all that, right? I got to show y'all that. That's JD5 last year against the Chicago Bears. Okay, this dude leaped over somebody. Okay, they kind of tackled him. He lumped up, but now he's got broken ribs in this game last season. His ribs are broken, and this is what he did. And I have to give my hat off to him because he went off last year. So yeah, I think this game is going to be a really good game. I think that of course the Chicago Bears they want to win, man. Man, it's going to be a good game. That's why I got my black jersey on, because this Chicago Bears week. I know my brother and a bunch of friends love the Chicago Bears, but y'all ain't coming in and getting us. We gonna get that win. We gonna get that dub.
They trying to come back and get that get back. They trying to get that get back from last year. they saying y'all got lucky last year. Yeah, that's what they saying.
We gonna get them.
I think Caleb Williams gonna have a big game. He gonna throw for like 300 some yards, 2 touchdowns, a rushing touchdown.
He had us beat. He had us beat last year. Caleb Williams had us beat last year, and then Superman put his cape on and threw that Hail Mary and won. And subsequently, that they lost. Chicago Bears lost 8 straight after that loss. By the way, that single play derailed their whole season somehow. Got the coach fired, got Eberflus fired, and everything. So I can't wait to see who wins that game. That's going to be a really good game. Also, we have the Buccaneers. They host the San Francisco 49ers. They both are 4-1. A crucial NFC showdown. The Buccaneers will have the home field advantage, and boy, Baker Mayfield, and I'm not sure if Purdy is going to be back this week, but then you've got San Fran traveling across the country and playing. I think that's an early game potentially too. Man, that's going to be a good game.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that the Seattle Seahawks would be able to stop Baker Mayfield in that high-powered offense right now, but I don't see anybody going into Tampa Bay and doing anything either. I mean, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers went on the road to Seattle and just took that win. I don't see San Francisco doing that. I don't see San Francisco doing the same thing they did on the road that they did at home the last game. But I don't know. I can't call this one, but I got Tampa Bay winning this game because the Baker effect. It's the Baker effect.
Yeah. It's going to be a good matchup. I mean, I can't wait. I'm going to be juiced up, because my game's not till Monday night. I'm going to be able to watch all these good games on Sunday. You also, Sunday Night Football, you got the Kansas City Chiefs at the Detroit Lions. Kansas City 2-3 after dropping a loss to Jacksonville. The Lions, coming off a strong Week 5 victory over the Bengals, will host the Chiefs. And what could be a Super Bowl preview, I don't really think so. It can't be a Super Bowl preview. Maybe an AFC Championship preview. Well, it could be a Super Bowl preview, but I don't think Kansas City's going to the Super Bowl unless they get a lot of people back. They're trying to rebound after getting beat by Jacksonville.
Well, Rice is coming back. Rice is coming back soon. I don't know if he's coming back for this game, but he's coming back soon. So once they get Rice back, that's going to change a lot of things in that offense. But the thing about it is I thought that the Chiefs would be way better at home, but they haven't really, I don't know. They don't look the same. The defense don't look the same to me for some reason. I feel like the Lions outside of Kansas City don't look the same. But I mean, I feel like the Lions are going to go in coming out of the dome though. That's kind of hard to me because they usually these teams that come out of the dome don't play very well. But they showed us, I think last game they played.
Well, Kansas City they're at Detroit, so they're in the dome.
It shows that it's. Are you sure?
Kansas City right at Detroit. Am I right?
It's in Kansas City. It's in Kansas City. So
really?
Yeah, it's in Kansas City.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I say when you got that crowd behind you, but the defense has been playing like they usually play at home this year. So I'm trying to see how how that's going to show up against the Lions, a high power offense, Lions offense. I don't feel like they're going to be able to stop that Lions offense, because once the running game gets going, passing game starts picking up. They have a lot of weapons. It's going to be tough for them to stop the Lions. I think the Chiefs need to possess the ball a lot more on the offensive end in order for the defense to get some breaks to be able to slow down the Lions offense. So what do you think about that?
I think to be honest with you, I think Kansas City is going to win this game. I think that Kansas City is going to win this game, and the reason why is that they're playing desperate, right? I mean, they got 3 wins already. They got 3 losses already. They're 2-3. I think they need to find a way to get this win somehow. And Patrick Mahomes is going to have to put his cape on, whatever he has to do to win this game. I think they got the defense to really stop Detroit Lions. I think their defense is good enough to stop them. It could be a shootout, but I think somehow if this game, like you said, if it's in Kansas City, I think Kansas City is going to pull this one out. I think they got to find a way to win, because they can't get too many games behind the Broncos. So I think, man, and if Rice plays, I think that's just a big boost. And Kansas City have been playing well. Patrick Mahomes lost this game for them, with that pick 6 the last game, and he's just not going to make too many mistakes for that. And then Jacksonville does have a good defense too. So I think Patrick Mahomes is kicking himself for that pick 6.
Well, I feel like because they played against the Eagles when they lost at home the first home game. But that's a different kind of team than losing to the Ravens beating the Ravens at home, because they beat the Ravens at home 37-20. But it's a different kind of Ravens team, so they're not the same team anymore. So we'll see what they do against the Lions, because I mean the Lions offense is better than the Eagles to me this year. I feel like they have to be able to stop them. I don't know. It's gonna be hard because our defense, our defense couldn't stop them, only because of our offense couldn't do anything. They kept giving them opportunities and stuff like that. But we'll see.
We'll see how it goes. So yeah, they're at the Chiefs, and a couple of other notable games here coming up. Browns at Pittsburgh. All right, the Browns at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is coming off of a bye week, right? This is the division game. Pittsburgh's defense like to get them turnovers, right? And they've had a whole week plus to prepare for Dylan Gabriel, and I'm a little worried for the young fella. Against that Pittsburgh defense at Pittsburgh.
They haven't seen the full offense. They gave him a vanilla offense, Dylan Gabriel, so they don't have a lot to see. Just to be real, because from our game, we didn't do much. It was a lot of dink and dunk. Like, I don't even think they gave him 30% of the offense yet. That's how bad the offense looked. It was like the same plays every single time to the tight end. It was like one tight end get a chance, the other tight end get a chance. It was like very basic. But the running game was really good. Quinshon Judkins is always, going to be. He's like the bright spot. Like I keep saying every week, he's the bright spot of our offense. Yeah, he's like run everything through the running game, and Ford is playing better with Quinshon Judkins at the lead back. They try to work in Samson a little bit, but it's not there yet because they have to. He's like a third down back, like a receiving back and stuff like that. So I feel like I got the Browns in this one again. I've been wrong 4 times this year, but I feel like with Dylan Gabriel, I think they're going to open up the offense a little more. If he can't make these passes beyond a 15 yards or more accurately, I feel like it's time for Shador time, baby. It's going to be Shador time with that. Oh, I'm wrong. I got to get the watch on this side.
You're going to keep going through quarterbacks. You're gonna keep going through quarterbacks until you get one that's gonna win for you.
Well, I'm worried about.
Y'all gonna keep running through these quarterbacks, man. Like,
I'm worried about that Aaron Rodgers fella, because our offense, our like we talked about before, our passing offense is like atrocious
Yeah.
right now. We getting cooked. That last game,
Yeah.
you got Carson Wentz coming
Yeah.
in and cooking us. So hopefully we can shore that up and watch out for this Aaron Rodgers cat. I mean, yeah. That's what I'm worried about.
It's going to be an interesting game. Of course, I'll be popping in and out of that one too. I'll have my um, I'll be rolling through these games, right? And
Yeah.
the Dallas Cowboys going to Panthers. I got upset alert. Okay, the Cowboys at the Panthers on
Oh no.
Sunday. I have an upset alert there. The Panthers have played a lot of tough. Their offense, gets to clicking kind of late, but I'm seeing them. I'm thinking the Panthers got a chance to win this game. You got Cowboys playing outside, outdoors, and I think that the Panthers is not as bad, as people think. They beat the Miami Dolphins already. They're 2-3, I believe, and I think this is going to be a tough game for the Cowboys. I really do think the Cowboys. This might be my upset alert of the week.
Well, I mean, it's kind of hard to say the outdoors for this game and Dak and how he played against the Jets this past weekend. He put up 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, the Jets are bad.
135 yards. I mean,
Jets
Carolina's bad, but they seem like they play a little better at home, Carolina. But they're still a bad team to me,
Jets.
in my opinion. But I
mean,
feel like
Carolina's 2-3.
Yeah, they are.
Carolina's 2-3.
They are 2-3, but they have a lot of issues on the defensive end. They I don't know. I feel like they can put up some numbers.
But the Cowboys do too. I mean,
well, yeah, but I'm saying I feel like their offense, their quarterback play isn't or their whole team dynamic on the offensive side isn't as potent. That they don't have a quarterback like Dak. That's what I feel like is going to be the deciding factor. Even though they're going to be at home, I feel like the quarterback play in Carolina is not Dak work, not kind of Dak's level to me. They can't keep up with Dak.
Well,
they can't keep up with Dak. It's high.
Mr.
I think their
MVP,
offense is
Dak
high
Prescott
power.
will see,
You got Javonte Williams.
Oh, it
coming out
is.
of the
Oh,
backfield.
it is. I can't deny it. I mean,
Yeah.
I got this. I got a jersey on that I don't like the Cowboys, but I think watch out, upset alert. I'm just gonna say it. We'll be back next week. We'll see. Upset alert.
Who's going to eat crow? Who's going to eat
a couple of other games here. Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking the Cowboys going to get beat by the Carolina Panthers, right? But anyway, we're moving on a little. A couple other games. I think the Patriots are going into the Saints. That's a dangerous game for the Patriots. Coming off a big win. The Saints getting their first win against the New York Giants. The Patriots should win this game, but I do caution, don't get overconfident because the Saints have been playing really good ball the last few weeks, and they did beat up on the Giants, and so we'll see how that really pans out too. Also, another notable game: Titans going to the Raiders. 2 bad teams playing, and man, the Raiders, they're not a good team. They're really a bad team. I think the Titans have a chance to really catch the Raiders again and snuff them out to get another second win. So that's just kind of moving through it. Now the Bills at the Bills at the Falcons. Falcons coming off a bye week. That should be a pretty interesting game. I think the Falcons are going to be playing very hard. That's a 4:00 game on Sunday. And Bills at the Falcons. Bills should win this game, but I'm hoping they beat up on the Falcons.
Yeah, I mean, the Falcons hopefully they got their injuries. They had a couple of injuries that popped up. That's why they started off really hot, really good, and then the defense was playing really good and stuff like that. But they had a couple of injuries on their defensive side. Hopefully, I think they're back. Those guys that were out, they're kind of back now. I feel like if they have their full defense back, I feel like Buffalo has to watch out for them because they're playing at home, and I feel like Atlanta could possibly upset, but the offense has to play a little better. I feel like Penix needs to figure it out. Buffalo, they'll allow you to get some points, but they're not gonna give up a lot. So, but they gotta. The Penix is not consistent
Yeah.
this year, in my opinion. I feel like he has so many weapons, but he's not as he's not the player that I thought he was because I drafted him in fantasy. So I'm like, you're not doing what I thought you were gonna do with getting the keys to this to the team and stuff like that. He's not really playing like like he should be to me.
Yeah. I mean, I see what you're saying. I think that, with the week off and stuff, I think this is a tough game. Banana plays a lot better at home. They got a lot of weapons. And to be honest with you, I'm not quite sure who's going to win this game, but I hope Buffalo wins because, it just gives them, because, Atlanta beat us. It gives them one more loss in the win column and the loss column. So, I'm definitely hoping that that's a big L for them. And, and just so you know, that is a Monday night game, right? That's a Monday night game. That game there is a Monday night game. So
we got 2 Monday night games.
We'll see how that plays itself out. There we go. Monday night game. We got 2 Monday night games. So you got Buffalo at Atlanta, and you've got Chicago at Washington. So we'll see how that plays out on Monday night. Yeah. So we'll see how that plays out on Monday night. Let's see. Well, other than that, you've got also some crazy other game. This last game here is, I don't think we talked about this one just quite yet. Nah, that's kind of look like we're having some technical difficulties here.
Yeah.
Kind of happens when you're doing a live stream.
Right. Yeah, dealing with a live stream, it kind of get these kind of technical difficulties. Hopefully it clears up here shortly. And one dropped off. It's like we're on a Zoom call. I think we're back in.
Yeah, we're back.
Okay.
Technical difficulties, this kind of stuff happens with
Right.
live. So we're kind of finishing up here too. But we also have the Seahawks at Jaguars. Man, that's going to be another good game. Seahawks at Jaguars. Man, it's hard to call that, flip a coin. But again, we'll see what the Jaguars are made of if they can get this one here at home.
Yeah, I got Jaguars at home because I feel like Sam Darnold's going to be Sam Darnold. He's going to go back like on the road. I don't know. I feel like Jacksonville can do this at knock them off at home. I think they have some issues at running back in Seattle. Walker, he plays okay at Spurs. Then sometimes he kind of goes back into his. I don't know what's going on with them. I feel like I got Jacksonville in this one. I think Jacksonville is going to show up. The defense is going to show out because they're running high for that win this past weekend, and I feel like they're going to keep it going to get some consistency going.
Yeah. Well, you got our last game here. You got the Eagles traveling just the bus ride down to New York, right? Just to hit the New York Giants, try to beat the New York Giants. And this is a Thursday night game, a couple of days from now. I'm excited to see this game. You got 2 NFC teams. I'm rooting for the Giants, right? Because I know that gives the Eagles another loss in the loss column. And going into that game with the Bears on Monday, it would be nice to know that we can get a share of the NFC East lead if the Eagles lose to the New York Giants. But this is also another dangerous game for the Eagles. The Giants actually play well at home. Their defense is still good, right? And if they don't get their act together, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Giants could very well beat them on a short week. So we'll see what happens with that. With the new, Jackson, hey, hopefully he plays better at home. What do you think?
Yeah, I feel like you said, Giants play really well at home, and I feel like they're going to play up for this game because you got the defending champions. You got a rookie in Jackson Dart. From his first game he played, he only had like 20 passing attempts, but then they kind of added more to his plate in this past game, and it's kind of like, okay, we got to manage the game a little better. But I feel like in this game, they're going to try to manage the clock a little more and hold the ball, possess the ball a lot more. So he's not going to make many mistakes because he threw 2 interceptions in this past game. So I feel like he's going to try to manage the game a little better, and he's probably going to run a little more because he's going to have to, because that Philly defense is not going to let you pass that much. So he's going to have to use his legs to get some short yardage or dink and dunks and stuff like that. But Scatterboo gonna bring that juggernaut power with that head. Just,
So, I mean, that kid there. I mean, he brings a lot of juice, and I saw some trash talking that he was doing with one of the linebackers from the Saints, and he's saying, hey, you can't bring that over here, rookie. And then Scatterboo say, yo, that's 5 yards, man. I just got 5 yards, and then he went back to the huddle. I said, yeah, that's that dog in Scatterboo. I like him, man, and he blocks. He does a lot in the running back game. I want the Giants. Let's go, New York. Don't disappoint me this week, New York. Beat the Eagles this week. So hopefully we get, they get the dub, and we'll see how it works out. So finishing up here, Tony, you're going to be following this Joe Flacco news and Dylan Gabriel and all that this week. Hopefully you guys get a win. We'll see how it pans out. And, everybody wants to see Shedeur Sanders, but man, I feel for you, buddy. The quarterback carousel is a tough one. And, the Cleveland Browns, man, y'all need to find out who your quarterback's going to be.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we're gonna make it. They're trying to make it Shedeur, I think. They're working to get it there, but the trade of Flacco is the next step in the direction of Shedeur. But I feel like I'm gonna still hang my head on Dylan Gabriel right now because I feel like Dylan Gabriel he's our QB1. So I support whoever the QB1 is. I'm not gonna play sides. I want Dylan Gabriel to do well because I like him as a quarterback. I just wish he was a little taller. I mean, just not to be size shaming or whatever, but I feel like if he was taller, he would be a great quarterback. And this wouldn't be an issue. We wouldn't be talking about it. And I feel like Shedeur wouldn't probably got drafted by the Browns if Shedeur was taller. I mean, that's what I feel. But I feel like Dylan Gabriel can get the job done this week. Because Pittsburgh has been they struggle a little bit on defensive side. They're not the same Pittsburgh Steelers that we know in the past. So we'll see.
We'll see.
So yeah.
We'll see. All right, guys, this is going to take this is the end of our show. Week 6. We will see you guys next week. I'm Lonnie Washington along with Tony Robinson. Thanks for spending some time with us, and take it easy.
Treasure the legends, those who paved our way. In every single chapter, we're here to stay. Breaking down plays, had a vision so clear with every podcast session. We're spreading that cheer from street courts to arenas. We'll raise our voice, telling the life lessons, giving fans a choice. It's more than just a game, it's the culture we embrace. Every laugh and every tear, finding our place. So we bring the